Hello and welcome to Sports 360 Sports on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. I beg your pardon, I wanted to say a source update, but not a source update this morning, but it's 360 on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. It was a weekend of action right there in Europe and some part of Africa, and we have our own Olympics, our mini Olympics, that is the National Youth Games ongoing in Delta State, that is Asaba, the Stephen Keshi Stadium, with other venues in Asaba Delta State, where talents are being hunted for the next Olympics and other world events that we have in sports, the likes of weightlifting, badminton, squash, a lot of sports, athletics, or we see the likes of maybe those who will take over from S.A. Brume and the rest of them slugging it out in Delta State, Asaba. But before we go to Asaba, let's begin on a very good note for Nigeria. This happened over the weekend, where the national handball under 18 team right there in Monastir, Tunisia, did well for themselves, did well for Nigeria, made Nigeria proud after 2 decades that we didn't participate in the handball championship on the continent. But this time we went back and did a very good job with our under 18 girls, coached by Coach Agboala. They were able to defeat Angola in the 3rd place match, that is the bronze medal match, 28-24, that over the weekend, to lift the third, to come third in that particular African under 18 handball championship. Before then, we qualified to the semi-final against the Egyptian, that's the defending champions. They've won it more than any other team that participated in this tournament. At the end of the day, we lost to the Egyptians in the semi-final, but because of our semi-final bet, we qualified for the women's IHF World Women's Youth Handball Championship that will happen in China next year. But in the 3rd place match against Angola, we had our own 28-24. It ended in favor of Nigeria, and it was a fantastic one for these girls coming back from the IHF event that happened in Ghana, where they actually lifted that trophy, and they represented Nigeria in the under 18 handball championship. They came 3rd, so back-to-back victories for them, even though they didn't get to the final. But getting to taking the 3rd position and winning the bronze medal for themselves and for Nigeria is a good one. And Sam Ochehu, the president of that federation, was very happy, elated president, after that achievement from the under 18 girls, handball girls in Monastir, Tunisia. He said a lot and he congratulated the girls, and him coming into that federation, I think it was a blessing for the Handball Federation of Nigeria when Sam Ochehu came in as the president of that federation, and it has been fantastic. They've been churning out victories from events ago, and like I said, 20 years out of the African Championship, we didn't participate, we didn't go, but this time around we went back, and we went back well, coming back with victory. So congratulations to our under 18 girls, congratulations to Coach Agboala and every other coaching crew that actually did well, trained these girls, perfected all their tactics, getting to the 3rd position against Angola and winning that match, which was a fantastic one. They never gave the Angolans any chance in the 1st set, and then the 2nd set, the Angola rallied back. But in the 3rd set, Nigeria was just too hot for the Angolians to actually, because we were too hot for them to handle. And at the end of the day, 28-24 was the final score, in favor 28 for Nigeria and 24 for Angola. Fantastic one, fantastic achievement, fantastic play from the under 18 girls. If you actually see these girls live, you know they are within the range of that age, 18. We have 16, we have 15 among them, we have 18. There's no age cheat in this one. You say Nigeria went with over age players, but not this time around. It was a perfect age for this competition, and that is why you saw that victory and everything they actually achieved right there in Tunisia. And if we get our man from Delta State Asaba, he will be joining us before the end of the show. Okay, let's leave Monastir, Tunisia, and head straight to Europe, where actions actually went down over the weekend. And the good thing is Nigerian players abroad did very well for their respective clubs, the likes of Victor Osimhen, despite he didn't get a goal, but he was a handful for Bologna defense. He missed a penalty. Lukman Haruna also doing well for Atlanta, getting a goal after coming back to. Now he has gotten 2 goals in 2 games. But for Victor Osimhen, actually missed a penalty in Napoli's draw against Bologna, and something happened in that game. He was taken off, and at the end, he was very angry with his coach, Coach Gracia, Luis Gracia of Napoli. That is his coach. He was angry with him. Why did he substitute him? And at the end, the fans were chanting, and there were a lot of unconfirmed fans were also angry with the coach for substituting Victor Osimhen in that particular encounter. And now, you know, when you touch the star boy of a team, you are bound to face fire from the fans and from maybe some board members. But for Victor Osimhen, he was not happy with that substitution. He actually questioned his coach why he was taking off that game. Though he missed a penalty, it happens to everyone. It happens to players. It happens to strikers. The likes of CR7, that's Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, at some point Lewandowski, at some point the big stars of this world have also missed penalty. Erling Haaland also missed a penalty. So who's a Victor Osimhen actually missing that penalty was not a yardstick for Luis Gracia to actually take him off that game. But at the end of the day, Victor Osimhen, he himself was not happy about it. The game ended on a goalless draw against Bologna. But before, let's look at some results of the Italian Serie A that went down over the weekend. We have some results of matches, of games played over the weekend. As you can see, Empoli, this time around, they said, okay, we are not going to concede more than 1 against Inter Milan, because last weekend, the previous weekend, they were walloped 7-0 by AS Roma. But this time around, they were able to at least put their tighten up their defense. They conceded just 1 goal against table toppers Inter Milan. And then Atlanta, like I said, Lukman Haruna getting a goal in that particular encounter against Cagliari. 2-0 it ended, and Udinese lost at home to Fiorentina 2-0 also, and Bologna and Napoli, that is a goalless draw where Victor Osimhen missed a penalty. And for Torino and Roma, it was all square also, that is 1-1 against Torino. And for Roma, I think they are coming back gradually to life, and for Jose Mourinho, he's churning out some good and fantastic results. It was just a pity that Victor Osimhen couldn't get a goal over the weekend, but he tried his best. He missed a penalty, and the coach said, okay, come and rest. And that was not a good one from Luis Gracia. Victor Osimhen was angry in that particular incident for the coach substituting him in that game. Okay, let's have the table. Let's see how they are standing on the log. We have Inter Milan topping the table with a perfect starting record, 5 games, 13 goal difference with 15 points. AC Milan is following closely with 5 games, 3 goal difference, and then 12 points. We have Lecce on the 3rd position after 5 games, having 11 points. Juventus on the 4th position after 5 games, they have 10 points. And then for Fiorentina on the 5th position, 5 games, 10 points. Atlanta occupying the 6th position after 5 games, they have 9 points. And for Victor Osimhen, Napoli, they are on the 7th position after 5 games. They have 8 points, defending champions for that matter. And then on the 8th position, we have Fiorentina on the 8th position with 8 points, a perfect number and perfect record for them. And then we have Torino on the 9th position after 5 games. They have 8 points. Then on the 10th position, we have Verona with 7 points, occupying the 10th position. Let's have the flip side of the table. We have Bologna, a team that held Victor Osimhen's Napoli to a goalless draw. They are on the 11th position after 5 games, minus 1 goal difference and 6 points. We have Sassuolo on the 12th position after after 5 games, they have 6 points. Roma occupying the 13th position after 5 games, they have 5 points. Monza, 5 games with 5 points. Also, we have Lazio on the 15th position after 5 games with 4 points. Genoa occupying the 16th position after 5 games, they have 4 points. Salernitana on the 17th position with after 5 games 3 points. Udinese 3 points, 18th position. Cagliari 19th position with 2 points. And Empoli, they are still looking for their first point of the season. They've eventually lost all the first 5 games of the season, and who says maybe their point will eventually come maybe next weekend. They should keep on trying. But if they don't try enough, well, at the end of the day, they should be kissing the Italian Serie A goodbye. But I believe in football, a lot of surprises normally springs up. Maybe they'll pick up their pieces and get their acts together and start getting the results they deserve to stay in the Italian Serie A. But for the weekend, it was a good one for Nigerian stars in Europe. Victor Osimhen in Italian Serie A, Lukman Aruna in Italian Serie A. We have players in England also. For Taiwo Awoniyi, he could not help his Nottingham Forest, where they lost to Manchester City 2-0. That is the result of the Italian Serie A. Quickly, before we go away from the Italian Serie A, let's take it one more. Empoli 0, Inter Milan 1, Atlanta 2, Cagliari 0, Udinese 0 at home. Fiorentina coming from far away to beat Udinese at home 2, and then Bologna 0, Napoli 0, Torino 1, AS Roma 1. Okay, that is it for the Italian Serie A. Let's go straight to the EPL, that is the English Premier League, where there were actions over the weekend, and also surprisingly in the London Derby, it was all square. Postecoglou doing a great job with Tottenham Hotspur as it stands. As you can see the result on the screen, it was 2-2 between them and Arsenal. Tottenham 2, Arsenal 2. Brighton and Hove Albion defeated AFC Bournemouth 3-1. Chelsea lost at Stamford Bridge 1-0 to Aston Villa, though there was a red card in that game. But at the end, their miseries and woes continue. For Liverpool, they came back from behind to defeat West Ham United 3-1. And then for Sheffield United, Newcastle had to put 8 goals past Sheffield United in that particular game. It's looking rosy for Newcastle United after they did well in their first game in the Champions League. It was a goalless draw against AC Milan in the Champions League, but coming back to the English Premier League, and Sheffield United had to feel the wrath of Newcastle United right there in their stadium. 8 goals, and if you look at it, Newcastle United has actually scored, they scored more than the total number of goals that Chelsea has scored in 5 games. In just one match, they scored 8 goals. Good one for Newcastle United. They were fantastic last season, and this season they've started well. Coming back from Europe and getting this kind of result tells how good Newcastle United is right now. It was a fantastic one, good one for Newcastle United, and good one for Eddie Howe, good one for Guimaraes, a player who was just given a contract renewal, and every other player in Newcastle United. Let's have the table. Let's look at the table before we talk of some Nigerian stars. In England, we have Manchester City topping the table. Perfect record, perfect start to their title defense. After 6 games, they have 13 goal difference and 18 points. That's to say they've won all their 6 matches. For Liverpool, they are occupying the 2nd position after 6 games with 16 points and 10 goal difference. Brighton eventually, surprisingly, are now 3rd on the log with 15 points after 6 games. They also have 10 goal difference for Brighton. They were beaten in their first game in Europe. They lost at home, but this time around they got it right against their opponent right there in the English Premier League. Then Tottenham, after that 2-2 draw with Arsenal, they are occupying the 4th position. After 6 games, they have 14 points. Arsenal closely following, also on 14 points, but goal difference, that is 3-8 to 5. That is 3 goal difference between Arsenal and Tottenham. And then on the 6th position, we have Aston Villa, who are 6. After 6 games, they have 12 points. For West Ham United, they are occupying the 7th position. After 6 games, they have 10 points. For Newcastle, they have 9 points after 6 games. Manchester United also, the fumbling and wobbling Manchester United, occupying the 9th position. After 6 games, they have 9 points with -3 goal difference. They and Newcastle United have the same number of points, but because of goal difference, Newcastle is ahead of Manchester United. And Crystal Palace occupying the 10th position. After 6 games, they have 8 points with -1 goal difference. Let's have the flip side of the table. The flip side of the table, how it looks. We have Fulham, who is on the 11th position. After 6 games, have 8 points. And then Nottingham Forest is occupying the 12th position. After that, after 6 games, they have 7 points. That is the team of Taiwo Awoniyi. Like I said, he was not able to rescue his team against Manchester City. They considered 2 goals, courtesy of 1 goal from Haaland in that particular game. And though they tried, they did all they can to see if they can get a goal back. But for the defense of Manchester City, who has to close up shop, ensure that Taiwo Awoniyi and his players don't get anything from that game, don't even get a goal at all. And that is how it ended. After 6 games, Nottingham Forest have 7 points and they are on the 12th position. Brentford following after 6 games, they have 6 points. Chelsea is now 14th on the log after 6 games, -1 with 5 points. Everton is following on the 15th position after 6 games, they have 4 points. Wolves are wanting Wanderers. After 6 games, they have 4 points, occupying the 16th position. And for Bournemouth, they are on the 17th position after 6 games, 3 points. And if you look at 18, 19, 20, Luton, Burnley, and Sheffield United, all of them having 1 point each. But on goal difference, Luton is stopping -8, Burnley following -9, and Sheffield United, who has actually collected a lot of goals, are conceded a lot of goals in the league. They were hammered 8 by Newcastle United over the weekend. They have considered, in fact, -12 goal difference. That is what they have. They also have 1 point. The good thing is they have 1 point. They have something to hold on to. If the league ends today, they will not just go down without nothing. So that is how it is in the English Premier League. But for all Nigerian players applying their trade in the English Premier League, Taiwo Awoniyi, Olaino, they were in the same team that lost to Manchester City. And in Tottenham, we have a player who is playing for the Italian. He has not played for Nigeria, Udoji by name, getting his 3rd start of the season. Fantastic left back, very enterprising, quick feet. He's so good on the flanks, running that flanks from the defense. It's a good one for Udoji. And these are the kind of players, if Jose Pizarro can actually set his sights and do all he can to get this guy to play for the Super Eagles. It was a good one also for Jamilu Collins, though in the English Championship, where he was fantastic for Cardiff City after he came back from injury, and they won their game 1-0 against their opponent in the English Championship. And for all Nigerian players applying their trade in English football, where there were some mixed results and there was some smile for some, but the likes of Awoniyi and Awoniyi and Olaino was not not too good for them against Manchester City. But for Wilfred Ndidi and Kelechi Iheanacho, fantastic player. And for Wilfred Ndidi right now, he's on cloud 9 after the new role his new coach has given to him. Now Ndidi is now joint top scorer for the season for Leicester City. He has gotten 3 goals this season all alone. Now he's playing as a more versatile midfielder, a supporting role, playing behind the strikers, and that is a good one. He has been doing very well, and we saw that against Satome and Principe at just the concluded Nations Cup qualifier right there at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo, where he was also fantastic in that game against Sao Tome and Principe. And for Wilfred Ndidi, I think we are now seeing the best of Wilfred Ndidi after that injury worries last season. Since 2 seasons ago, Ndidi has not been himself because of injury, but right now he is doing well for himself and doing well for Leicester City. It was a fantastic one and good one for Wilfred Ndidi in the English Premiership and also in the English Championship, I beg your pardon, and also for Kelechi Iheanacho. It was also fantastic over the weekend for Leicester City. I think Leicester City, they want to actually find their way and come back to play in the English Premier League proper. And for all Nigerian players in the Italian Serie A, in the English Premier League, in La Liga, and other leagues of Europe, they were fantastic. It is good news for Jose Pizarro that all our players are doing well for themselves in all of the leagues that they are playing in Europe. And even in Nigeria, though the NPFL has not started, we don't know when the NPFL will kick off. But at the end of the day, teams are engaging in preseason just to keep themselves in shape, just to keep the players physically fit and psychologically ready for the incoming season. And we hope the NPFL organizers put their acts together and get us a date where the league will actually kick off. So it was a fantastic one for all our players in Europe. Okay, let's take this story quickly before maybe if our guest from the National Youth Games in Asaba is ready, he will join us. Let's take this story. It concerns Real Madrid. Now they have their eyes on Alphonso Davies of Bayern Munich. He's a left footer ever since Marcelo left Real Madrid. Real Madrid has been looking for a very good replacement, and for Alphonso Davies, I think he's a fantastic player, a Canadian. He plays for Canada. I think he is going to be a good replacement for Marcelo in Real Madrid because he has the same quality of Marcelo. And if Real Madrid can actually get this guy come January, it's going to be a fantastic one. It's going to be a fantastic addition for Real Madrid because Carlo Ancelotti knows Alphonso Davies when he was there, when he was with Bayern Munich, when he has a very short stint with Bayern. So he knows Alphonso Davies very well, and he's trying to do all he can to get Alphonso Davies play for Real Madrid. So for Alphonso Davies, it's not left for him to make his decision come January if he actually wants to leave Tuchel and go straight to Real Madrid. If he wants to live a very good life in Spain, to join his former boss, that is Carlo Ancelotti. They call him Don Carlo. Actually, he's actually a Don when it comes to Champions League. So for Alphonso Davies, I think he's going to do all he can to see he leaves Bayern Munich and join Carlo Ancelotti in the in La Liga, that is Real Madrid, precisely for a fantastic and enterprising player. Okay, like I said, that if we have our guests ready, well, let's just we all know that the National Youth Games is ongoing right there in Asaba Delta State, where talents are being hunted, and one man, the president of Nigerian Wrestling Federation, that is the champion Daniel Nigali, has actually come out and told and advised all states that are participating that they should put hands in their pocket and encourage these young athletes, but they should not put money first. They should look for talents, harness them, and prepare them for Nigeria. And that is what it is in the National Youth Games, and where we know that a lot of talents will be discovered. The likes of Faith Okosi was discovered from the National Youth Game the last time out. In that is not the National Youth Game, National Sports Festival that have also happened in Asaba. Now Faith Okosi is a fantastic athlete, a 100-meter runner for Nigeria, and she's doing well for herself. The likes of Toby Amuson we are also part of this Blessing Okagbare of Blessing Okagbare. A lot of them, they were just discovered from the youth games. Okay, we'll apologize that we couldn't get our guests from Delta State Asaba to actually tell us what is going on going on right there. But in subsequent edition, we'll be bringing you a live report from Delta State. That is where the National Youth Games is ongoing. That is where we'll leave it on the show 360 Sports. Thanks for watching. I am Emmanuel Fashemi.